Eala makes statement at Australian Open despite first-round exit. Eala's Australian Open debut may have ended in an early exit, but her presence left a lasting imprint on the tournament. She really brought a lot of energy to this Australian Open in a way that I haven't really seen any player do before. Certainly not someone as new on the scene, so making their tournament debut. Sports analyst Ben Rothenborg said, capturing the moment. Eala, the rising Filipina tennis star, was assigned to Court 6, one of the smaller venues at Melbourne Park, but the setting hardly limited her draw. Rothenborg noted that thousands of fans queued hours before her match, many waving Philippine flags and chanting her name. The crowd swelled beyond the court itself, spilling into nearby areas where spectators watched from video screens outside. On court, Eala opened in commanding fashion, dismantling American Alicia Parks 6-0 in the first set. But Parks, known for her streaky play, regrouped under pressure and mounted a comeback. Rothenborg observed that while Eala may have absorbed the emotional weight of the moment, it was Parks who ultimately flipped the switch and rode the crowd's energy to victory. Eala makes a statement at the Australian Open, not through victory, but through impact. The glow of Australia's summer sun was matched by the brighter glow of Filipino pride at the 2026 Australian Open, not because of a trophy or a deep run, but because of the presence and spirit of Eala, a rising tennis star whose journey at Melbourne Park became a story far greater than a first-round match. For many players, a first-round loss on the grandest stage of Australian tennis could be framed simply as disappointment. But for Eala, the narrative was richer, layered with emotion, national pride, growth, and a subtle kind of triumph that doesn't always show up in the win-loss column. A debut filled with expectation and emotion, Eala walked onto Court 6 at Melbourne Park not just as another competitor. She entered as a symbol of aspiration for tennis lovers in the Philippines and fans worldwide. In her first Australian Open main draw appearance of the season, she wasn't just stepping into a match. She was stepping into a story that had been building over months, perhaps years. Her opponent, American Alicia Parks, was no pushover, a seasoned competitor ranked lower but experienced enough to capitalize on opportunities. Eala came out strong, dominating the first set 6-0 in front of an overwhelmingly pro-Eala crowd that filled every inch of Court 6. The energy was electric, the chants deafening, the support palpable. But tennis is as much a mental battle as a physical one. Parks stormed back, rallying with power and precision to claim the second and third sets, ultimately winning 6-3, 6-2 after a nearly two-hour battle. The scoreboard favored Parks, but the atmosphere favored Eala and her supporters. More than a match, a movement. What made Eala's appearance at the Australian Open so significant wasn't how far she progressed. It was how deeply she connected with those who came to watch her. Court 6, a smaller arena typically reserved for lower-profile matches, was transformed into a home-court-like cauldron of support. Filipino fans filled every seat, lined nearby big screens, and waved their national flag with pride. The kind of support usually reserved for players in their home country was there for Eala in Melbourne, thousands of miles from Quezon City. After the match, Eala didn't retreat quietly. Instead, she embraced her experience with grace and perspective. In an Instagram post after her exit, she described the privilege of competing in Melbourne and expressed gratitude for the outpouring of support she received. Being able to play here is such a privilege. Learning, growing and enjoying. Thank you, Melbourne. Her message wasn't about regret. It was about perspective. For many athletes, especially those still early in their careers, growth is measured not just in titles but in lessons learned. Eala's reflection showed maturity beyond her years, an understanding that losing one match does not define her career, but her resilience and attitude do. A moment of national pride. For the Philippines, a nation starved for global tennis representation, Eala's presence on the Grand Slam stage has been nothing short of historic. She has already etched her name into the country's sporting legacy, not just by competing, but by winning important matches at major events in the past. In the 2025 U.S. Open, she became the first Filipino to win a Grand Slam main draw match in the Open era, a milestone that reverberated across sports circles back home. At Melbourne, her exit in the first round did little to dampen that pride. If anything, the sheer enthusiasm of her supporters, their chants, flags, and energy became part of her story. Eala didn't just play tennis in Australia. She brought a piece of the Philippines with her to every point. Courtside chatter wasn't just about winners and unforced errors. It became conversations about identity, representation, and hope, handling pressure with poise. But such attention is a double-edged sword. The overwhelming support that energized Eala also added immense pressure. Many fans admitted they felt invested in every shot, every rally, sometimes so much that it affected how they watched the match and how they interacted with Parks, her opponent. Some spectators and commentators noted that the fervent home support unintentionally created an atmosphere that may have added to Eala's emotional weight during key moments. Yet, throughout it all, Eala remained composed. She acknowledged the support with gratitude, even as she admitted parts of the experience were unexpectedly intense. It was so heartwarming. It's a learning process. This honesty, acknowledging vulnerability while focusing on growth, is what sets her apart. Instead of shying away from the attention or deflecting pressure, Eala faces it head-on, understanding that part of her journey is learning to manage expectations, both her own and those of her fans. Beyond results, what makes a statement? In professional sports, a statement is often associated with winning. A statement match. A statement win. Yet Eala's Australian Open story challenges that traditional idea. She made a statement not by winning, but by inspiring. Her presence galvanized a global fan base, brought unprecedented visibility to Filipino tennis, and showed that tennis culture is becoming more diverse and inclusive. Her performance sparked conversations, not just about her game, but about the spirit of competition, the emotional dimensions of sport, and how young athletes balance public admiration with personal development. Eala didn't just compete, she connected.